Hi, one Mystery Sports Picks. I'm Peter Lojak. He's Mike Brenner. We're the odds couple. It's week 7 in the NFL. Today's Thursday. We're talking with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, and we're going to talk about the Pats and Steelers game right now. We're going to be using Thursday lines. Now, Mike Brenner, you are all over the Pats. You've been that way since Monday, right?
Yes.
And if you remember, on one of our picks updates, and this is why we do those shows, in the middle of the week, I took the over at 45.5 plus 104. You see what happened? Now it's all the way up to 47 or 47.5 market wide. The Greek is still hanging 46.5. Am I moving lines now? Are these videos moving lines?
Well, guess what? Totals Lojak with what he's doing in college football.
Yeah,
all right, he can move any lines.
I had my reasons for liking the over. Clearly, the market has agreed, although the Greek apparently doesn't agree. The Greek is hanging 46.5. We're both expecting a big offensive day from the Pats. The question is, what are we going to get from the Steelers? You don't think the Steelers are going to bring enough to get a cover? You're still liking the Pats as much as ever?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm going to be adding another play onto that, but because I read another article and got some info. One thing, though, Pete, all right, I think Landry Jones might surprise some people.
Sure.
And I think they're going to have some plays that were simply designed just for him. And you know what? They might put the points on the board. But again, I've said it all year. This New England defense is under the radar good. And I'm telling you, they're solid. I don't look for them to put up a bunch. I look for a chip on the shoulder on that Pats quarterback to kick everybody's ass on that Pittsburgh side. But your total's Lojak, and I'm telling you, I got no right whatsoever to talk you off of any ledge.
Joe Duffy, Mike Brenner, and I are basically settled on this one. The science is settled as far as Mike Brenner and I are concerned. I'm liking the over. Mike Brenner's liking the Pats. What are you liking here, Joe?
I'm going to actually have to disagree with Mike Brenner.
I love it.
It's been very clear. Mike Tomlin has loved Landry Jones ever since he drafted him. He's been a big fan of him, and he even stuck with him when he was so-so in the preseason a few years ago. And look, Landry Jones has been in the system quite a long time. And, with Brown, Bell, Williams, it's not like the cupboard's bare. He's got some weapons, and he can be, I hate to use a term, but we'll say it. He can be a game manager. He just has some playmakers he can get the ball into the hands of. Very interesting angle here. Teams off of a loss as a road favorite, and now big home underdogs are a perfect 10-0 since 1988. Now, I realize, look, Peter and I have been doing these videos for 3-4 years. He's going to say, but yeah, there are extenuating circumstances here. But think about it. Anytime you have that much of a swing going from a road favorite to a big home underdog, there's going to be some extenuating circumstances. And this angle says that, fade the odds makers over adjustment, which is what I think had here. Now, think about it, folks. When you take the home field advantage into account, this is the equivalent of being a 13-point road underdog. That's just way too many points. I got to like the Steelers here.
Wow. Joe Duffy taking Pittsburgh. It is a split line. Mike Brenner liked it earlier in the week, and the line hasn't moved. So Mike Brenner's on Pats -7. Joe Duffy taking the Steelers +7.5. So,
Pete, I got to jump in here because I have nothing but respect for Joe, and his breakdowns are brilliant. And I mean it. And his trends, his stats, his analytics, the things he follows, and his strengths. And, I respect all avenues whatsoever of handicap, and I respect it. You got to get your info. All right, I'm emotion, and I'm on to that momentum thing. You got to, and we'll go through it right now because, by God, we're going head-to-head, Joe.
Yeah.
I offer it. I throw it out there. We got to have something on the table here on a gentleman's bet, whether it's a trip for you down to Costa Rica or something. Here's the deal, all right? You got a quarterback that still has a chip on his shoulder the size of Wisconsin. Joe, you can't gauge that. You can't measure that, all right? And bottom line, Mike Tomlin, nice guy, this and that. He ain't even in the same league as far as this coach across the field. Bottom line, Bill Cowher made that guy look good for a couple years after. The real Mike Tomlin has shined, and they've done jack shit when it comes to getting deep into the playoffs. Big Ben's down. Latavia, you get these guys signing big contracts, the Bell, the Bryants, and they kick back and they start putting it on auto drive. That defense has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. Let's get real. That defense hasn't been dominant since Dick LeBeau left, and that's been a while. All right? There's no way in hell Tom Brady's going to overlook this game. There's no way in hell that Bill Belichick will be outcoached by Mike Tomlin. Trust me right now. Different league, whole different ball game. I love you. I respect you. But I'm so much on this side, I will fly you down to Costa Rica. We'll take a trip to the Ray, okay? And there we can place another bet, and that'll pay for your trip home. All right, with all due respect, great breakdown, my man. But this is an emotion and a momentum win, and I'm telling you, Patriots are on fire. They're on a mission. They're dangerous, and the best coach in the NFL, baby, is going to take it.
And now we go to Joe Duffy to get his rebuttal. Joe Duffy, you have 30 seconds.
Well, First of all, you're a very nasty man, Mike. Anyway, as far as, look, there is no question who loves this game more. You do. I do actually have my NFL Game of the Year at offshoreinsiders.com this weekend, and it is not this game. So you do love it a lot more than I do. And I'm not disagreeing with anything that you said. The bottom line is, though, again, my point of diminishing return, I do think the teams very often, and this is a big NBA theory, but it also applies in the NFL, and NBA is right around the corner. When teams lose a star player, short term, they can rally around them. Plus, they've got the element of surprise. New England, again, they don't have as much tape on Landry Jones, and the Steelers are going to be better off knowing what they're going to do. This is one of the reasons why rookie quarterbacks generally are good bets in the first couple games of the year. And secondly, yeah, Tom Brady, he's had that chip on his shoulder. He did last year, too. And I know that, this year he officially got suspended. But the bottom line is, I don't think people realize how big a 7-point home underdog is. I mean, that's usually when you have a massive mismatch. And nobody is a bigger fan of quarterbacks than I am. And nobody is a bigger fan of Ben Roethlisberger than I am. But still, as much as I am pro-quarterback and pro-Ben Roethlisberger, this line is going a little bit too crazy, and I think it's an overreaction to last week's results. By the way, my only wise guy last Sunday was on the Miami Dolphins. For reasons I explained, I thought it was a great spot. Now I think this is a pretty good spot for the Steelers, but more so, the odds makers made it a good spot by making them such a prohibitive home underdog. And again, the cupboard is not bare.
Well, again, and I respect everybody's view, and I do, all right? And there's just two elements here. My dad said opinions are like belly buttons. Hell, Joe, we all got one, all right? But something happened 3 weeks ago, okay, in New England, and it is nothing normal that you can gauge or put numbers to, okay? They got shut out at home 16-0, all right? There was a locker room situation. A coach didn't talk to his frickin' team for 5 days, and they went out and they whooped the dog shit out of their next opponent, all right? That is still, the residual effect is still there. Belichick still has an error right now. Joe, I'm telling you right now, buddy, you're not going to be coming down this time on my money, but I would gladly fly you down anyway because I love doing videos with you. Patriots, 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 early and often. This is going to be a double-digit win, my man.
Well, the Pats might be a different kind of favorite than other favorites. I mean, Mike Brenner, you've been on the opposite side of reported sharp action, taking the Pats already this year, and you turned out to be correct. The sharp handicappers, everyone turned out to be wrong.
Hey.
With the Bengals game, that was a perfect
I'm feeling
example.
sharp this week too, Pistol Pete, I'm telling you.
I'm on the over, but we have a hardcore head-to-head matchup right now. Joe Duffy from offshoreinsiders.com on the Steelers plus 7.5, and Mike Brenner taking the Pats -7. Joe Duffy's website again is offshoreinsiders.com. This is what Joe Duffy does. Joe Duffy, you've earned it. Give a quick plug for your website before we wrap this up.
I'd love to come to Costa Rica. I've been a couple times, and it's a great, great country, beautiful countryside. But anyway, offshoreinsiders.com. Long before there was offshore betting, I was giving picks on the old score phone days, 1988, off a winning week in college football and the NFL. Humongous weekend highlighted by the NFL Game of the Year this weekend at offshoreinsiders.com.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, gents.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.